Alright, welcome back to another video, guys. Today, it is Mask of Momentum, or Peter here, going over the Battle Hardened in St. Louis. Happened this weekend. Louis Oswald versus Austin, a Lexi versus Dromai final. This is going to be the premier matchup from like the last when Redington came out. Pretty much this has been like the premier matchup of the meta, right? Obviously it's going to be the old guard Lexi, basically the best deck in the format, and is obviously getting LL'd pretty soon. In about like a week and a half, it is going to be out of the format, not legal for Worlds, and Dromai is going to take the torch of being the best deck in the format. So always looking at really cool seeing like the last best deck in the format that is about to be LL'd, basically playing in the finals versus the new best deck. Pretty much, I don't think you can ask somebody currently that doesn't believe that Dromai is just going to be the best deck in the format after Lexi rotates, and it's going to be quite fun. Also, we have a little bit of a special guest here. We have my dog Bentley, that is currently laying on my bed. Usually does not show himself during these videos, but usually he's like at my feet actually. So decided to lay on the bed today. So a little bit of a puppy action back there if you guys enjoy that. But let's get right into it here. Obviously, Lucas Oswald being one of the premier guys, like on the runaways, super young, super talented, man. Like I got to talk to him a lot at the Portland Battle Hardened and just at events and stuff like that. And kid has a good head on his shoulders and definitely deserves it. So let's see. Something that I've seen a lot of more Lexi players do, especially later into this format, is play Trench instead of Tunic. I do think Tunic is like basically always better, but if you think the only way that you can lose this matchup as Lexi, like if you feel like you can win an average game versus Dromai as Lexi, I think you can play Trench over, because Trench allows you to not just get like cheesed by Tumultai on the first like couple of turns, right? I've been playing a lot of Lexi, played it at a ProQuest this past weekend as well, and I felt like the only times that like I wasn't in control of the game is when I have an IP2 or I have a or if I get Tumultai on turn 2 or 3 of the game. And only reason I did IP2 this weekend was I was actually late. My flight was supposed to leave at like 6 a.m. going to LA, and I sat at the runway for like 2.5 hours, and because we had an engine trouble, and so I got to my ProQuest unfortunately 20 minutes late. Although the player meeting went a little long, so he was like the TO was like, hey, I understand you're late because you can't really do anything because of the flight delay. So it gave me a little bit of a it was pretty nice letting me only have an IP2 instead of just like an instant game loss. But IP2s in this game are quite hard to come back from. But we got a pretty interesting thing. Austin decides not to Arsenal on his first turn, just plays Miragi and then Command and Conquers, which is, you know, obviously pressure is basically Command and Conquer versus Lexi going first is like basically the best thing you can do. And now we're seeing a drill shot coming at Austin directly, and then Snapdragons. So I think the best case scenario here is if Lucas has we just have Death Touch. That's pretty interesting. Okay, so it has blue Searing Shot to load this Endless Arrow. Boom, instantly really good. And then he can send it for another 4 go again. This is like another premier card that she wants to block, but unless you have a defensive action here, you're gonna get Death Touch as well. So does block with equipment here, so early equipment here, especially just trying to get it so Lucas doesn't have any chance of having more than a 4-card hand the following turn. And now this Death Touch is like really the key here, right? This is, I think a lot of people have moved away from Death Touch or not has played enough, but I know Lucas has been a enjoyer of Death Touch for a very long time. Just like a 1 for 6 in your arsenal is so good. Now he can also bring back that Death Touch with Codex for like a 1 cost like every single time, which is insane, you know. Also gives him a Blood Rot, so it's basically a 1 for 8, like always, because Dromai is definitely not going to definitely not going to be able to stop that Blood Rot. See if Lucas wants to block this Dromai here. Sometimes you do just want to block with 1 card and then make it pretty easy for you to just like arrow into the Dromai, arrow at Dromai, and then clear plus present a little bit of damage going through if he doesn't have like a Codex or something as well. Looks like Lucas has just 4 arrows in his hand. 1 being a Bolton Shot, 1 being a Withering. Dust Up has consistently impressed me basically every time I've seen it. It's just like such a good like generic like attack for Dromai, right? It's just a 0 for 4, has it on hit, block for 3. What can you? It's a red pitch, you know. What more do you need? Also, pretty interesting thing is Austin has not cracked his gold yet, which is pretty interesting. He did go, instead of like doing anything, he did go with like the gold token play at the very beginning, just playing that Miragi into the CNC, which was a really good start, but now we're in a pretty even situation right here, right? I think this is like pretty good for the Dromai player specifically right here, because you're not really getting pressured too much by this Lexi. They're only really sending you something really interesting. If they just send like, if they send 1 arrow at a dragon, 1 arrow at you every turn, you get to play like these 2-3 card hands as Dromai all the time, which is like pretty key, and allows you to get like a lot of value early into the game if Lexi can't set up these like 5-6 card hands, right? The second that Lexi can set up these 5-6 card hands and really blow out like the damage from Dromai, it becomes incredibly hard. Snatch for 4 right here, super good, especially because Lucas does not have the Hornet Sting anymore, because he did block the Dust Up with it, and you don't want to give a Trench this early, and he definitely wants to definitely wants to get in here with some other cards here. He's playing Blue Winter's Bite. It looks like he has 2 1-cost arrows in hand and a Codex, so I wonder exactly what he's cooking here. Okay, he decides to pay. Oh, never mind, that's a blue. Okay, so he's doing a Heat Seeker, kill this Miragi, does get a Heat Seeker trigger, then gets to play the Codex of Frailty, get back the Death Touch surely, and then shoot for 6, which is incredible here. And he gets to have that next card. Then also has the face up card with the Heat Seeker, and then the Ponder token, so he can set up that 6-card hand as well. Plus this Death Touches looks like extremely well here. That's just an incredible turn right there. Like, you could have the Heat Seeker hit the Miragi, and you get to have this Death Touch come at you, so it's like 6 on hit. Like, could give him an Inertia token, could give him a Blood Rot, could give him another Frailty. Probably not the Frailty because he already has one. I would probably say it's most likely just a Blood Rot token, just doing an incredible amount of damage here. Unless he's really worried about like specifically the card in the arsenal being like, it could be like Tumultai or something like that, and that he's trying to bang for future turns, but that's like the only thing. Austin really giving a big think about this here. This looks like a pretty hard decision, right? Because it's either you block this for 6, and you save yourself like 6 to 8 life basically, but you only do have like a 1-card hand plus an arsenal if you have a double 3 block, or if you have like an incredible amount of 2 blocks in your hand, you're probably like triple blocking here. This is like one of those tough decisions because this will definitely dictate the game, and especially because your opponent's about to have a 6-card hand. Like surely about to have like a 5-6 card hand, like at the least. Like having the heat seeker trigger, having the ponder, he can just freely arsenal that. And it doesn't matter if he puts like double arrow that both don't have go again in his arsenal, because he can't just trench the one that he puts down. And now he has a free resource basically, and then he has to start like still basically has a 6-card hand, but that one card's just a red pitch basically. So this is incredible here, you know. Incredible start from Lucas. After it looked like Austin was getting a lot of value out of his dragons early, because Lucas was really respecting it. So we'll have to see. It looks like there's at least one 3-block in Austin's hand. Oh, the Tumulti. And also, okay, that's a red billowing, but no, he blocks with the Tumulti here. That's the big decision right there, obviously. That's the one that you're like, oh man, you definitely do not want to block. Like, you really want to play that Tumulti in this matchup, but looked like he just had a triple red in his hand. So I think the other play he was thinking about, like maybe you just, you know, pitch, you know, block for 3, take 5 basically, and then come in with this miraging. Arsenal the Tumulti is like the only other option you can have. I think Tumulti is obviously like incredible, but it does lose a little bit out of the I get to win the game instantly factor, because they do have trench. But something also I would like to note out here is that Heatseeker did hit that red Icequake, which is just insane, like versus Dromai, dude. Every time I think playing even more Icequakes is just like insane right now. It does trench away that to put this Voltaire, and then he's gonna play this Icequake. Okay, then he's gonna play Bolton Shot. Looks like he's a little light on resources this turn, or basically the and because he's pitching like Codex of inertia, right? He's either a little bit. He doesn't have enough resources to double load plus Icequake unless he trenches here. The best option would be if he has best option would have another Codex here. Oh my god, and has another Codex. He's gonna get that Death Touch, obviously, get those tokens. It makes Austin also discard the last card in his hand, which is Red Tome. So Red Tome can't block. Red Tome's been super good, but this is the time to where if Lexi has tempo, Red Tome is not. It's a good catch-up tool, but it is not incredibly gonna get you there. Also, putting the inertia tokens, he doesn't even get the snatch value, bro. So, because he has the frostbite, can't play the snatch, then has the inertia token to put the snatch back in the bottom. So, can't even get the actual card from Codex as well. Dude, that's actually insane sequencing, insane plays. Dude, Death Touch is so. I'm kind of getting sold on this Death Touch right now. I haven't been playing Death Touch in my Lexi list, but I might be a believer now, and it's a popper in this matchup. I usually been doing this with like CNC with the Codex CNC type things, but this is just insane here. All right, here we go. We got 4 go again here with an endless arrow. And just decides to CNC instead. It looks like he has a sand cover and sand cover. Oh, he says snatch here. This is some a little awkward draws from Austin here. You know, last turn he did have another sigil, so he basically he basically stole the like full block the Bolton shot, but he does still get that frostbite and the reload trigger if it would have happened. But this is insane. Quicker so good. Well, so these are the same cover. Taking 2 here because there really is no on hit on this Command & Conquer because he does not have a does not have an arsenal currently. I think Austin's turn does just look like coming in with Snatch and just seeing what your opponent does. If he blocks the snaps, the snatch, you maybe could snap it, or if not, you just play Sigil, Arsenal, the card that you draw. But Lucas does have the 6-card hand coming in, Austin at 24. Looking at like 1 Raisin Razors basically to end this game here. I know there was one that was put on the Hornet Sting at the very end. So let's see. He's just gonna play the Sigil as well. So go back to 27. Lucas, not fearing this at all, does look like he has Rain Razors in hand. Let's see if he has another resource card to go with it. Because sometimes you do have to use that Rain Razors as use the Rain Razors as your resource card here, which does not feel too good. Okay, loads this bolt, this battering bolt, comes in for 6 with Gogan. Has been using this trench for so much value. Just an incredible amount of value for the resource system here. Like, you would still get like a tunic counter, but now you get to arsenal basically everything and not really care. Yeah, this trench is getting a lot of value this game. Probably on par with what a tunic would give you for this part of the game, and probably induced his opponent into blocking the Tomotai and not like trying to keep the Tomotai for like later in the turns. So it's also like a side note, because also did think really hard about blocking with that Tomotai or not, but if say his opponent has tunic, I think he'd be a lot more inclined to try to take a whole bunch of damage that turn to keep the Tomotai later into this game here. Battering Bolt's effect is like really interesting, as they have to discard every card besides an action card. So sometimes you can get like a little bit of value with it, or they block with the cards that aren't action cards sometimes. But it also is just one of those like awkward cards too, because like say you don't want to use your defensive reaction on this battering bolt, like on the first attack, because you want to keep it for another on-hit effect, but then battering bolt comes in and you're like kind of inclined of like defensive reaction battering bolt if you have one, because it's just going to take it unless you block it, right? So Lucas bantering, talking through his games. Oh, you can always hear him talking in the halls, and always there. Definitely a vocal player. Really cool to see. Also giving another big thing to this 6, right? He could have like nothing in hand that is impacted by, basically nothing in hand impacted by this battering bolt, and just decide so it could just be a blank 6 for him. And how much do you want to protect yourself versus that infecting shot that's coming up, right? That infecting shot 100% is going to be the arrow that you want to walk on this turn, that you want to double walk as well. So looks like Austin is more on a like strict redline kind of version of Dromai as well. You can see the nourishing evidence that he pitched, and now he has another nourishing in his hand. Definitely a way more big of a tell of being a redline version, more like a redline version than like a big. These make more all in on like being redline tome, versus sometimes you see a lot of these decks play like almost a like mid-range Dromai that's still playing a lot of the Dromai cards, but they play like 6+ blues, and then to have like a little bit more like the big dragons as well, like even through Tome. But Tome allows you just to play these big dragons even though you're like a redline deck, so it is quite good. Okay, got the rake here, so alright, we got that 3 of a kind here. Such a impactfully good card here. Usually whenever you have like your 3 of a kind turn, is like the turn that you want to use your quiver, right? Because if you draw like double blue and you already have arrows in hand, you can just activate that quiver like halfway into the game here. Falcon Wing value here, 3 go again from the arsenal. Always good, always good. Sleep Dart here, 5 go again. Sleep Dart does turn off anything having go again here. Sleep Dart was one of those cards that we did see a lot of before like this last iteration of the deck here. Sleep Dart has been making its way back in a little bit, but did kind of take some time and not be in the meta for just a little bit here. See what he does. Okay, does double block it. Uses a DR and another card. Wants to filter because he did have that sand cover in his hand, but does draw just a sigil here, so another not block card. Ooh, this is the big one. Bolt and Shot here. Bolt and Shot red for 5. He gets to reload. Another arrow if he wants to. But does just pass. Doesn't decide to shoot. Oh no, breaks the chain because he's playing Codex of Frailty. Obviously he's playing surely the best one here. Oh, and he has the sigil in his hand, so he can't block the CNC fully. He comes in for 6 here. Can only block 3 in sigil and take it, and then his arsenal's also gonna get destroyed. Oh man, the sequences of draw here for Austin has not lined up basically correctly. This is why I'm way more of the more like bigger kind of Dromai fan, and like playing the more of like the blue build as well, because I'm not really. The more and more I see, I like Sigil a lot, but the more and more I see Sigil versus like Lexi, I feel like I'm not a Sigil fan, bro. Because like there's just so many on hits in this deck that like right here, if he has double 3 block, like keep the dust up, like just dust up for 4 here. It's just like keeps at 11 and has like an actual chance of like crawling back into this game if like Lucas has some like medium turns. But now we're just looking at like 1/1, like swing Kyloria. Honestly, you could just you double block it. If you have Endless Arrow here, you can just kill Kyloria, come into face, shoot the thing from the arsenal. Has another 3 of a kind here as well, so you can just use like a really bad arrow to shoot into Kyloria, and then coming through here, just like these codexes have been like actually insane by Lucas, right? A lot of the time you see like when you're playing as Lexi, sometimes the draws can be a little awkward if you can't like get everything out of your hand and play Codex. Sometimes you have to use the Codexes and the Razors as like the resource cards, but if you're hidden, bro, you're hidden. Also sees the CNC on top with the quiver. Obviously bad to not see an arrow basically, but does get to come in with 6 here. Basically, if he sees an arrow on top and he's to load, he gets to shoot this Infecting Shot for 5 go again, and then shoot any arrow from his entire deck at Austin, which is just like he has to double block the Infecting Shot and then shoots another arrow, basically to like take every single card from his hand and never have to think about it either. It's just actually insane, especially because if you get to if the arrow is like a relevant card and Austin draws Red Tome that does not block, obviously Red Tome, amazing card. But when you're minus 15, oh, see, yeah, he did draw a Red Tome as well. So like if he had if he hit on that quiver, there's a chance Austin did just die, depending on what arrow it was, obviously. I think this I've seen this comment on like the bottom of the screen where people were talking about how like Lexi took a little bit of a backseat where it wasn't the best deck in the format. These were what was just really surprising to me were these were the Dromai games. I played 6 Dromais at the Calling in Dallas, and every single Dromai game went like this for me. Like my Lexi draws were just good. Was playing Codexes, was playing Rain Razors, was just feeling the power of how Lexi was, and then was just feeling like how powerful Lexi was literally the entire time. And it did not feel like it just felt like this matchup was, you know, hard. You can win it for Dromai, obviously, but it is one of those, you know. Obviously, draws not look good for Austin at all this game. Decides to play the Miragi and swing the Ashwings here instead of, you know, putting Sync in Arsenal to try to help block a little bit further. But I mean, every single time you're blocking, it's not like super there. Third 3 of a kind here for Lucas. Another chance at maybe activating this quiver as well this turn to try to get there. But we're looking at, it's at least 3 arrows from Lucas here. Does look like Austin has at least 1 defense reaction in his hand. And see how much Lucas as well respects this Miragi as well, or if he's just trying to kill him, right? Because like you can just go like shoot arrow, and if your opponent leaks basically any amount of damage, you can almost always kill them. So Austin going to 4 here. Let's see, not a 1 cost arrow, but this is a 4. So you do need to fielding block 1. This does look like he's a defense reaction on this one here. Then he has 3 blocks left in his hand. See if Lucas wants to just attack the Miragi if he has a resource card for Quiver. Or not. Looks like a Warmonger's here. Think about putting the Warmongers on top of the bottom. I don't know if you're ever actually not full blocking for the rest of this game. I'm pretty sure you're pretty dead, no matter what. Alright, looks at a 4. Looks like both of the remaining cards in Austin hands are 1 cost, so it's not like he can play anything in this turn. So it is probably better just to double block here and just swing 2, start chipping out. Hopefully, you know, Lucas can't have those incredibly powerful, you know, Lexi turns coming up. He does get to have a 5-card hand here. Oh, and looks like we have a Rain Razors in his hand here. Let's go to 16. See, this 5-card hand can kill the Dromai here. Ooh, got a Winter's Bite here. Something that's super good about Winter's Bite is that now he can't, basically trying to play in defense reaction here is like giga impossible, right? Unless he has a blue, but if he has a blue, surely Lucas has enough cards to basically do it to him. Does start with a blue Searing Shot here. So if Austin does have a 2-block in hand, you get that the value might not usually have. But this is, I think we've only seen 2 red tones from Austin this game. So whenever he draws that 3rd one, he will just die, like 90% of the time, because he's in that pretty much full block mode. Does get Rain Razors here, so take 3, goes to 1 after blocking the 2 with Ravenous Rabble. Is going to use that Winter's Bite, pitches the Snatch, had double 2 block in his hand. Then we just got the +1 here, 7, boom, game's over. Good game to watch here. Yeah, just Lucas showing how dominant Lexi is as a deck, you know. And the old best deck in the format is still dominating the format as we go here. Alright, how are we looking at it? Congrats to Lucas with this Battle Hardened win. I believe he also won the PTI this weekend, which is insane. I'll probably also do a video on that. But here we go. Good games from this. Lexi did win this finals versus Dromai, and hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya.